All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Woo, balloons, everything. 400th episode of the Pancakes and Powerslam show. I have my shirt on and ready to go. I'm so excited. It's been 7 years and almost 8 months since I first debuted the first horribly sounding episode of the Pancakes and Power Slam show. Talk about just humble beginnings. And 7.5 years later, I have this guy right here, the man, the myth, the legend, the controversy creates cash guy himself, Mr. Eric Bischoff. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing well, Chris. Congratulations, by the way. 400 of anything is a big number.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yeah. It's so funny. My Pancakes and Power Slam show is officially longer than the Monday Night Wars.
Wow.
Yeah. Monday Night Wars was 96 to 01, right? 95. September 95.
Yeah, 95.
Yeah, September 95 at the Mall of America. Yeah. So what was really the idea behind just the whole Mall of America feel? I know that you've shared it before, just as far as just the really the image you wanted to have. You wanted to just do away with a lot of just what it was before and just really bring a thrilling product, and just your boldness in really doing the Monday Night War competitively. Just what was your really mastermind? Just what were your thoughts behind doing all that and being bold about just making it happen?
Well, it was really more necessity than anything else. WCW had not been drawing, an audience for a long, long time. We had a hard time getting people to come to television tapings. So the idea of going to Mall of America was a way to have the event in a really interesting, unique environment and atmosphere, without having to worry whether or not we'd be able to put 5 or 10,000 people in the arena. So it was a bit of camouflage and a lot of smoke and mirrors, but it worked.
Yeah, it did. And Lex Luger being the first really kind of buzzing topic, defecting from WWE to WCW. So that was definitely something that really brought some viewers over. It really lit the fire of the, oh man, this is something going on. This is some competition. So was that your goal when you brought Luger over, to really cause that type of buzzing feel to it?
Without a doubt, prior to launching Nitro, we had spent several months doing a significant amount of research and interviewed a lot of wrestling fans all over the country. We did focus groups in, obviously Atlanta, Chicago, St. Louis. I think we did one in Cleveland, Minneapolis, a couple up on the East Coast, Kansas City, and then a couple out west. And one of the things that I heard consistently in these focus groups, when the research company that was conducting the research would ask the question, what's one of the things you like most about professional wrestling?
Mm-hmm.
And consistently across the board, and there were a lot of different answers, and a lot of the answers you would hear frequently, but the one kind of loud and clear message that I got during that research process was how much fans liked surprises, and the sense that anything can happen. So that was one of the things that I really focused on in creating the Nitro format, was to find as many ways as I could to do things that were unexpected or that the audience didn't anticipate, to kind of check that, that box with regard to, surprises and things like that.
Certainly. All types of comments coming in. To respect your time, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the Q&A part. So do a hashtag Ask Eric, hashtag Ask Eric, and we'll jump right into it. We got Sean asking, what do you think of the new belts? Low show tickets, AEW thoughts NXT, also opponent for Fiend. And so Rancy's he wanted to just throw a bunch of them in once.
Okay, well, I'm gonna pick one.
There you go.
Let's go from that. What do I think of the new belts? Not my cup of tea. And again, it's because of the way I grew up and the era that I grew up in, or the eras, I should say, and just the way I look at things. So it doesn't mean that I'm right at all, but it's it's my taste. I like a more traditional looking belt. I like the big gold belt. I like the UFC belts. I like belts that kind of harken back to the legacy. There you go. So the current belts doesn't do it for me, but whatever. I'm 64 years old. Maybe they're not trying to appeal to me.
Well, I'm not 64, and it doesn't appeal to me too much too. So,
see, great minds think alike.
There you go. Absolutely. Darren's asking, what is your best memory off WCW, and what is the worst?
I have a lot of great memories. It was an exciting time for myself, obviously, and my family. My kids, my wife and kids, and I got to travel the world because of WCW. I was able to take my family over to Japan as guests of New Japan Pro Wrestling for, I think, 10 days or so. And we just had an amazing time that my kids still talk about to this day. So I think anytime you have an opportunity to share those kinds of experiences, especially with your kids, it's real special. Made a lot of good friends there, people that I'm still friendly with. Launching Nitro was a very exciting, part of my career. And obviously I think had a big impact on the industry, long after. So there was a lot, there's, too many good things to really pick one, I think. Worst memory, kind of the same thing, too many to pick from, but I think, in all fairness, I think the last year I was there was stressful. It was frustrating. There was a lot of transition going on and within Turner Broadcasting and Time Warner at that time. And all of that made working at WCW not nearly as much fun and rewarding as it had been up until that point.
Sure. Absolutely. All right, so let's go with Lexi here. Given the chance to redo your last stint with WWE, what would you have changed?
Not a thing.
A thing. Cole, do you think CM Punk will come back to the Rumble?
I mean, I don't know CM Punk. I've never had a conversation with him. I don't know what he's like. I only know him by his reputation, and I don't really judge people too much. All right, I don't rush to any assumptions based on other people's opinions of other people. So I have no idea. I hopefully, if that's something that he really wants to do, I'm sure that the crowd would love it. I'm sure it would be successful for him. And if that's what he wants, then by all means, go with God. I think it'll be great.
Certainly. Brandon's asking, so what are you doing now?
Well, right now, my wife and I are in Airbnb in Clearwater, Florida.
Wow.
We left Stanford about 10 days ago or a week ago, whenever it was, and decided our kids live down here. Our son and his wife live down here in Clearwater, Florida. So we decided just to come down early and have Thanksgiving and spend the holidays with them. We're going to be here through, I don't know, sometime around the middle of January.
Oh, nice.
And then I'll be working my way back to Wyoming, probably take the long way around, go up through the southwestern part of the United States and visit friends and family and do a little sightseeing. But, at the same time, I'll be doing the podcast every week. I enjoy doing it. It's pretty successful for us. Mm-hmm. And got a couple of the things that I'm involved with. Got a project you may have read about last February with Netflix. It's a Hulk Hogan movie. So I'll hopefully be getting busy with that soon. I'm just taking it kind of one day at a time.
Nice. Let's see. So one of these two questions: what WWE roster talent do you want to invest a storyline into, or did you have an interest in anyone from NXT? Lexi's asking.
Yeah, I wasn't really watching the NXT roster too closely, Lexi. There were certain talents there. Chad Gable. I dug him as a person and as a professional. Loved Randy Orton's work. I didn't get a chance to work with Randy, but I really, really, really admire his work, and he's flawless as a performer. I would have liked an opportunity to work with him, but there were many others, that I was hoping to get a chance to work with that I didn't. Sheamus was another character that I would have liked to get my hands on, but there's a lot of great talent there. Really is.
Certainly. Absolutely. Chris is asking, Easy, why is WWE going away from using legends?
Oh, well, I don't know that they are. I think if anything, they may be realizing that you can only go to that well so many times before it starts to diminish in the eyes of the fans. What you see. I was at the Raw reunion in, when was it, July, and then there were a lot of legends all throughout the summer, and I think people started to realize that you can only get so much bang out of these bucks, before it's just really not that interesting. And the other issue is, so many of the guys can't do anything.
Yeah.
So many of them are so busted up because of the careers that they've had in the ring that, they can't really get involved in any kind of physicality. And if you're on a wrestling show, even if you're a legend and you really can't get involved in any physicality, well, you're pretty limited in terms of what you could do, or if you're WWE, how you can use them in an entertaining way.
Yeah.
You can't just stand there and wave to the crowd and expect people to get all excited about that. So I'm hoping that I'm sure they're always going to use legends, but perhaps more sparingly, so that when they do use them, it means more.
Certainly. You help the focus on my. There we go. Much better. All right.
Gave me vertigo, but I'm glad things are better for you.
Better focus. just like that. Michael's asking, what's your favorite memory of working in the AWA?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. Probably my first day on the job, when I was sitting there in an office going, wow, I can't believe this. I'm actually working in the wrestling business. And that first day of the job was pretty exciting, but I had a lot of good times in AWA. Vern was kind of I don't want to say a mentor, that'd probably be overstating it a bit, but I learned a lot from Vern and from his son Greg, and from a lot of other people like Wahoo McDaniels and Ray Stevens, and to a lesser extent Nick Bockwinkel. There was a lot of great talent, a lot of great minds that came through there that I had an opportunity to work with. So I'm grateful for that.
Certainly. Let's see. There's a lot. Ali says that you're still the best general manager there is.
Allie, you're absolutely right. I would like to be able to argue with you, but you're so right on the money on that with that point that I just can't even debate it.
My boy, I'm buddies with Ice Train. You know Ice Train.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he just sent me a message. He said, hey, and thank you.
He's a good man.
Yeah, he said thank you for everything. He's getting on the plane. It's about a meeting. So yeah. So he said thank you. So all right, so man, there's a lot. Let's pick a few good ones. Okay. Greg Brandy Edwards. Would you put your NWO days up there at the top of the list of the best things you came up with?
Oh, it'd be hard not to. I mean, look, you turn on Monday Night Raw this Monday night, or turn on SmackDown on Friday night, you still see NWO shirts in the audience. So 20 years later, or 20 plus years later, I guess that's kind of an indication that it was an idea that that resonated and still does. So yeah, it's hard not to acknowledge that. But I think I honestly, I think there were other things that I did that were probably as important or more important in some respects than even the NWO story. It's just that it wasn't as visible, or noticeable. Making the commitment to go live every Monday night was a game changer.
Yes.
And it forced the WWE to change their game, which they're still doing today. That's an example of something that Nitro did that raised the bar in a way that really improved the product across the board. It's not only for Nitro, but for WWE and Monday Night Raw as well. I think the cruiserweights is another example of introducing a style, and not just once or twice or an occasional unique matchup, but to bring in the cruiserweights and provide them the platform on national television, really internationally at that point, and to bring that level of talent into the wrestling business on a national level, I think probably had much more impact on the industry even today than people give it credit for. I was talking to Conan today on his show, and we were reminiscing a little bit. And I gave Conan a lot of credit for this because he was very instrumental in bringing a lot of the luchadors in from Mexico for us. Mm-hmm. And I think between the luchadors that Conan brought in and a lot of the Japanese that I brought in, from New Japan Pro Wrestling, I think if you look at the state of wrestling today, or the state of the presentation of wrestling today, much more athletic, much more acrobatic, much faster paced, higher risk type stuff. Those were all things that we saw in a cruiserweight division going back into the 1996, 1997, 1998. Yep. And it started, I think, a trend that we still see shades of to this day. So I think that probably in some ways had a longer lasting impact than even the NWO story or going live. But those are just examples. I think creating the format with Nitro that was more of a reality-based format as opposed to the kind of the animated, childlike kind of version of professional wrestling that we saw in WWF back in 93, 94, 95, even in 96. They didn't really get their game together until 97 when they came up with the Attitude Era and really started competing with us at our own game and doing it very well, by the way. Indeed. So I think those are all things that were really instrumental and more than instrumental, responsible for, I think, the success that we're seeing in the industry today.
Indeed. Since I've interviewed you 3 times, there's so many questions, and we're getting messages and questions. I think I get you as far as questions that you'd like and you won't like as much after interviewing you 3 times. So I'll sift through the ones that I think, out of respect for your time, that I think that you say, good question. So that's what I'll do. And I'll also give you some shout outs too. Like Cole says, not a question, but thank you so much for the wonderful childhood memories growing up to be able to watch WCW from signing Hogan all the way to the final days.
Thank you, Cole. I appreciate that, man.
Indeed. Okay, let's ask you a few more. Let's see. All right, Michael's asking, who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
It's like if I go to a sushi bar and somebody says, what's your favorite type of sushi? It just all depends on my mood and what looks good at the time. But I think if I had to pick one talent that to me stood out the most, particularly when I was younger and more impressionable, I would have to say Dick Bockwinkel.
Okay.
Nick was, he was, in terms of his interview skills, his skills on a mic, he was second to none and probably would still rank today as being one of the best there's ever been with a microphone in his hand. In terms of his work in the ring, I think the same would probably hold true. He was just an amazing, talented, gifted, believable, articulate, good looking. I mean, he had everything going for him. He was a great heel, and I've always loved good heels. So he was he was a great heel.
Absolutely. Okay. Is three good enough? Three more good enough for you?
3's good. I'm fading, so yeah.
That's what.
I'm usually in bed by 9:30. Even my dog's over in the corner looking at me like, "What are you doing up at 11:30 at night?"
Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate you spending 400 episodes with me at 11:30 at night. So that's a lot. It means a lot to me personally. Okay. All right. 3 more questions. Here's one. Joseph asking, what is your opinion on John Cena?
Hey Joseph, thanks for the question. I think the world of John. I don't know John real well on a personal level. I worked with him, for several years in WWE. Absolute consummate professional. I don't think anybody could deny his work ethic and his commitment, not only to the business but to the fans. John has spent so much time doing things for charities and giving back to fans and making wishes come true for Make-A-Wish kids and things like that. When you do as much of that as John did, on top of a schedule that even the busiest, hardest working people among us would look at and go, well, this can't possibly be real.
Yeah.
But John not only did that, he also, in his free time, which he didn't have very much of, like I said, spent so much time with charities and kids, and it still does to this day. That it's hard not to admire a guy like John Cena.
Indeed. Absolutely. Okay. That was that one? And then here's 2. What do you think of Rey Mysterio winning the U.S. title last night on Raw?
I didn't see the match. I'm happy for Rey. I think Rey is probably, I'm guessing, coming close to the end of his regular in-ring schedule. And I think going out on a high note at this stage of his career. He's had such a phenomenal career, and he's such a classy guy. Rey is one of the classiest people that I've ever worked with. And I think it's just it's a testament to him, and I really hope that he goes out in an extremely positive way with nothing but sunshine on his back, and being able to look back and be very proud of his career.
Yeah, absolutely. The leader is correct. Going to be many good questions unanswered. Probably you're correct. There's so many good ones, but there's
only so much time in a day.
So much time. We got to go at a time. That's what Tony Schiavone would say. The good old cliffhangers. Okay, here's a good one. Here's a good one. Alan says, so basically Hogan has been buzzing that he wants to come back. Had surgery November the 12th, I believe. Your buddies with Hogan. He had an interview right before Crown Jewel saying that he's been talking to Vince to come back, and he's kind of eyeing WrestleMania. So with that being said, if he gets that WrestleMania match, who would you like to see him against is what Alan's asking.
Wow. I think the fans would probably like to see perhaps Hulk and Undertaker. I know Hulk would probably, more than anything, want it to be Vince McMahon. If he's going to work a match with Vince McMahon, I want to work Hulk's corner. Me and Vince got a little bit of business to take care of. Yeah. Just kidding. No, I would want for him whatever he would want. Again, a guy with a career like Hulk Hogan, and if he's able to, and God bless him if that's what he wants to do, and he's able to make that happen, I'd be the second happiest person in Florida that night. but it's hard for me to imagine that he'll be able to get ready for something like that. But who knows? He's done it before.
Awesome. Well, there's a lot of people who are saying some really cool stuff to you. Elvis says that you're the best.
Thank you, Elvis. Appreciate it very much, baby.
Thank you very much. I wrote about the Hogan thing, and my pick is Cesaro because I think Cesaro would dance with him with his physical limitations. Cesaro's one of the best workers in the ring, hands down. He can make anybody look like $1 million. And if I had my choice, I would pick someone like Cesaro because Hogan would take the win. It would be a huge moment for Cesaro, probably his biggest moment ever in wrestling. And I think Cesaro will be a good person to dance with Hogan at Mania. So. Everybody wins. Indeed. Absolutely. Eric, any closing thoughts, man? Thanks once again for celebrating 400 with me.
No, man, I'm glad we could do it together. Congratulations, 400 episodes is a lot of work. It's a lot of commitment, and I'm sure you've had your ups and downs. And there's probably been times when you said to yourself, "Why am I doing this?" But keep up the good work, man.
Thank you, sir. I really, really appreciate it so much, and thank you so much. I have a good night. Enjoy that Florida, and enjoy your journey back to Wyoming. You should start your own YouTube channel of your long journey back to Wyoming over the next few months. That would be fun.
I lost your audio and I didn't get a chance to hear what you had to say, but I'm out. Have a good night. And
okay.
We'll be able to do this again at some point.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, man. Bye. All right. Awesome. Yes, he could. Dole says thanks. Michelle says thanks. Ryan. NWO for life. Eric Chains Wrestling. Thank you. I'll still get you guys over with prices there doing Macho Man. Brian says no match for Hogan. God, it would be. Oh, I don't allow profanity. I missed that one there. No profanity, please. It's a PG show. Yeah, so there's so much good stuff on here. Well, we got so much to talk about. This is the 400th episode of the Pancakes and Powerslams show. Wow, guys, thank you so much, Eric Bischoff, for your wonderful words, for your wonderful word of encouragement. Ice Train just sent me a message of saying that he says you're awesome. Thanks, Ice Train. I'm putting you over here on the 400th episode of the Pancakes and Powerslams show. Big thank you to Eric Bischoff for celebrating 400 episodes with me on the Pancakes and Powerslams show. So I know that you guys have a lot to talk about with SummerSlam, with TakeOver. We're going to celebrate you see this? Pancakes and Powerslams show. This is my t-shirt. We're going to celebrate 400 episode. I got one of my belts from my display over there. I have 3 belts. Here's the big gold belt, the real world's champion, brother, the real world's champion. We're going to have a lot of fun here on the 400th episode of the Pancakes and Powerslams show. Hashtag Ask Chris for any questions that you have for me. The flavor of the week, we're going to freestyle it, guys. For those who are just joining, we're through 4 or 5 platforms right now. You guys are so awesome. I'm so excited to really spend 400 episodes with you all over the next hour or so. We got to share your thoughts with TakeOver and share your thoughts with SummerSlam. We're going to talk about some headlines that's out here that's been going on, and then we're going to close the show with talking about just your favorite Pancakes and Powerslams moments. So for those who've been following the show, your favorite Pancakes and Powerslam moments. So that's going to be fun for the end of the show. So all right, so there's a lot of comments that I want to address. Again, hashtag Ask Chris for those who have a question for me. Alan says the wedding angle was the best moment on SmackDown ever. I usually screen these. Brian, you didn't know it was PG, so I can't blame you for that. But yes, the comments are PG, so please keep them PG if you want them to be highlighted. Eric, okay. Marcus says Eric Bischoff changed the business. He took WCW to another level. Frank, did I say SummerSlam? Survivor Series, thank you. Congrats on 400, Alan says. Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it. Appreciate it much. Survivor Series is great, but lacking that final push. What if they combine the Indian Survivor Series with the Elimination Chamber Ultimate Match of Survivor inside the Elimination Chamber? Winner of the men's and women's match receive world titles. Matches the Royal Rumble. Interesting continuation of pay-per-views there. I thought the end of Survivor Series was awful. Cody is a PNP faithful, man. I'd probably buy a PNP shirt, to be honest, just to get looks from people wondering what it is. Absolutely. Let's see. Man, thank you, Michael. I appreciate it, man. Have you realized how big this is tonight? Thank you, man. Love the show. Evan introduced you to that show. Evan should be coming up on here soon. Thank you. Listen. Thank you. Michael's a faithful. Michael's man. He jumps on every week. Such a big support. Look, man, I've been doing this thing for a decade. I've been a writer for sports. I've freelanced for Sports Illustrated, for Fox Sports. I'm known in the wrestling journalism industry, but this right here, this PNP Nation, this Pancakes and Powerslam show that I've been doing since April 3rd of 2012 was my first episode. And now 7 years and almost 8 months later, 400 episodes. I'm so it hasn't really it hasn't really hit me, honestly. I mean, I got the PNP shirt on. I brought the big gold belt from the back from the display. So I'm trying to get in the gimmick here. But I'm excited, man. I'm just really excited. I'm excited about the show tonight. I'm excited about my Buckeyes being the #1 team in the nation as of today. We're back at #1, baby. Yeah. We got Michigan, on Saturday. Very excited. Some good Ask Chris questions, guys. Good stuff. Mo says join the Patreon and get a free shirt after 3 months. That is a shoot. Mo can speak for that because he actually has a Pancakes and Powerslam shirt on. He actually has one, and he joined after 3 months he got a shirt. So you go here, patreon.com/pancakes and powerslams, and if you join the Patreon, and if you are a Patreon member for 3 months for the top tier, you get a free t-shirt as a thank you. So great thanks for everybody. Join the Patreon. There's one is like $1 a month. It's like there's other ones like $6 a month. But that's a to-go meal, fast food meal a month. And that's just a way for me to continue to, for those who follow the show every week, I've really advanced in technology over the past few years, like bigly. I've really advanced in technology, and it really gives me an opportunity to really invest within the technology, and to continue to do those things, to continue to improve, continue to have some fun with the show. So jump on the Patreon. After 3 months, you get a PNP t-shirt, or you can buy one straight out. Just let me know. Send me a message. Man, there's some good questions, guys. I would rather address these questions than talk about Survivor Series. So I'm gonna try to because Survivor Series has been talked about with everybody. I'm getting all types of Eric Bischoff just told me thanks. He just texted me and said thanks. Let me text him back and tell him thank you, Eric. Big thanks, man. Huge. It's so funny, man. I've shared this on my Facebook. That's people can say certain things about certain people, and bad raps, and this person was this person to this way, this person, whatever. Listen, I've had nothing but positive everything with Eric Bischoff. I mean, I'm like, dude, I'm a wrestling journalist. I'm one in a million. You know what I mean? Thank God. And for those who don't know, I'm a very strong Christian. Thank God that he's blessed me to really brand myself with the Pancakes, Powerslams, my writing style and things like that. But I'm a journalist, man. I'm a wrestling journalist. There's been plenty of wrestling journalists that he's talked to and interacted with over the past, 30 years that he's been in the business. And Eric, I'm so blessed and so thankful that Eric makes me feel unique, and he really, I really appreciate the personal, professional relationship that he has with me. And there's just, quick to respond to my text, very friendly, always been super friendly to me, man. This is his third time on the show. It's first time as a live video, first time on the live video, but man, just thankful, just really thankful of his just being a nice guy to me, man. All around nice guy, and never has been rude. I've interviewed over 150 wrestlers. I've had good experiences with most, but there's some that are just rude, and there's some just flat out jerks, man. If I can shoot from the hip, as Paul Heyman would say, there's been just absolute jerks, to be honest. But at the same time, Eric is among one of my favorites to work with and to really mingle with, and it's just a nice guy. He's been nothing but just pleasant with me, and I appreciate it. So Gerald's saying congrats on 400. Keep it up. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Gerald. Thank you very much. John is asking, what do you think of the Fiend storyline heading into 2020? What's up, John? What's up, man? Oh man. Okay. Fiend storyline heading into 2020. I think that he will maintain the Universal Championship. I think that the WWE is doing too much with him, though. I think that it's just really too much too soon. I really think it's too much too soon at this point. I definitely think it's one of those things that the build should have been slower. The build should have been. They really should have done a better job with putting him on as a heel, with really building him up and building his character as a heel. And I think that it would have been a better way to make a babyface look good. Because I've said this all the time: good heels make better baby faces. And a heel, and me and Evan, I'm about to bring Evan here in just a moment. Me and Evan have talked about this. Evan Tech Proud, my co-host, the co-host with the most. We talk about this a lot. We actually just talked about this yesterday. Good heels make good baby faces. The problem with wrestling nowadays is that there's such a gray, blurry line between baby faces and heels. And I did a Q&A. Was it Orlando? I think it was Orlando. A couple years ago at WrestleMania, I was a part of a Q&A session with Flair and Sting, and I was one of the people asking. I asked a question, and I asked Sting, who was my personal greatest of all time. I asked him, I said, what do you think about just the landscape of baby faces and heels right now and how important that is still in the business? And he said, man, he said, if it wasn't someone like a Rick Rude or Ric Flair, I would not be who I am, because there were such good heels that I wouldn't be who I am as a babyface. And that's what wrestling should be. It should put people over by the heel looking so good because people hate him. That's what put the heel over, and the baby faces over because the heel got so much heat that the heel passes it on to the baby face, who had to come up and got the shine, heel made him look good. So that's how it should be. That's just a tried and true method of building stars. Look at Austin versus McMahon. McMahon was the most hated person in WWE, and Austin was one of the most popular of all time because of Vince McMahon. And Vince McMahon, the Austin McMahon feud became such a groundswell that McMahon would put people like Kane, Mick Foley, Undertaker, Triple H. He would put people in Austin's way who were good heels to make the storyline mean even more. If y'all really go back and really trace that storyline, it was the rebellion. It started with the stunner, and Austin McMahon. It really drew, and Austin kept throwing heels in front of Austin. I mean, McMahon kept throwing heels in front of Austin to prevent him from getting to McMahon and from getting to the title. And that is amazing storytelling. That's how you put somebody over. All right, so let's answer a few more of these Ask First questions. And take it from there, and then bring on my boy Evan Tech Proud to celebrate 400 episodes of the Pancakes and Powerslams show. I'm so excited about this. I'm excited about today. I'm excited about Ohio State versus Michigan. I'm an avid Ohio State fan. For those who follow my Facebook page, I do a blog, a big blog on Facebook every Monday or Tuesday after the games with like just a big old thing of notes. So check that out. I actually did notes today about this past weekend's college football. For those who don't know, I think I've shared this before. Avid, lifelong, 30+ year, almost 35-year wrestling fan, but 1B or like 2, very close. I mean, I love college football. So, and I'm getting Evan into liking college football more too. He's starting to ask me a lot of questions and stuff like that. He's starting to get into college football more, and we'll talk about college. We talk about college football too, man. He asks me questions. I give him the ins and outs on it, man, and it's cool. We just added something else to talk about in our repertoire. It's pretty cool. So, Lexi's asking on the Wargames scrum. Triple H alluded to a wrestler who simply ran across the ring and now is out for 6 months. Xavier Woods tweeted, "I hate him," right after work or shoot. Well, here's the thing, man. Xavier Woods needs a job. Xavier Woods, as far as I know, is an intelligent guy. He's actually either just finished his doctorate or about to become a doctor. I think in like educational psychology or something like that. So he knows the psychology behind making good decisions and making his statements count, and knowing that his statements have lasting power to them, especially in the social media world. And we've seen that over the past few weeks with a certain ACH. So I don't think this is a shoot. He probably, if anything, Triple H may have made that comment. It's probably as far as it's a shoot, which would be Triple H made the comment and Xavier is jokingly saying that he hates Triple H or whatever. But this is bread and butter, and I'm sure that Xavier Woods wouldn't risk his job by Triple H dig. So, all right. I'm going to Greg says Joe Burrow for Heisman. I agree. I think Joe Burrow should be Heisman and somebody else's world. No, but I think Joe Burrow will be the Heisman. I think Chase Young should be the Heisman. I think Chase Young, I think he was one of a few people nominated for the Maxwell Award, which is the greatest player, and the best player in college football. I think he is. I think Chase Young is the best player in college football. As far as a drastic improvement from year to year, I think Joe Burrow has been the most valuable player on the LSU team for sure, as far as a turnaround. But Chase Young, man, I'm a Ohio State guy, so I think Chase Young's the best player in the nation, 100%. Elvis thinks beautiful Elizabeth should be in the Hall of Fame. I agree. I totally agree with that. All right. Yes, the leader. Your Oregon Ducks let you down, and let me down too, because I've been defending Oregon with my college football discussions over the past few weeks, and Oregon let me down. I was lobbying them for be that 4th spot. Now I got to lobby for Utah, which I don't mind. Oh yeah. I knew you were going to ask this, Lexi, so I'll answer it. Corey Gay's receiving a ton of backlash after his tweet regarding Mauro. But now I'll bring Evan on for this one, actually. Do you believe that is warranted, or has society become too sensitive? All right, with that being said, I bring on the co-host with the most, Evan Tech Prout. Hey, yo, 400 episodes. It is survey time, my friend.
I'm here, survey time.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, you see, I got the shirt on for you. Never wore this shirt. Andrew Mark knows this, Mike Ryan. I got hella wrestling drinks for free. I took this out the vault, if you will. The mothership. It is on for you. The Roddy Piper, one of your favorites. Roddy Piper. And I put this on for PNP 400.
Yes, sir. One of the best stick man ever is Roddy Piper.
Yes, Roddy Piper.
Absolutely. Chase Young is a monster. Absolutely, he's the greatest player in college football. Big thanks to Alonzo 400. That's very impressive. Keep up the great work, Chris. Thank you, Alonzo. Greatly appreciate that, man. Very, very much. All right, so let's go to Lexi's question and then address a few headlines, and then I just kind of want to freestyle it today, man.
Yeah, you know we great at that.
Yeah, I want to freestyle it today. Y'all know how it is. I usually do the headlines and then the Raw and SmackDown review, and then we talk about the flavor of the week. When we talk about the flavor of the week this week, I want to bring up, I want y'all to make me remember some things. I want to bring back the greatest, some of your favorite PFP moments. And Evan, do me a favor and either put on a Bluetooth or like your headphones, so I don't see an echo, so I don't hear an echo. So
okay, cool.
That would be great, man. I
Let me see if I can find some.
Cool. Sounds good.
I have any.
No problem. So I'll let you do that, and when you're ready, give me the thumbs up, and you jump right back on. All right. And all right. So let's address this. All right, receiving a ton of backlash. This is a fun to talk about. So what's in the cup? What do y'all think? I got my Ohio State. I'm really excited about Ohio State versus Michigan. This is the year for the Ohio State Buckeyes. We are at a championship year. We're going to win it all, and I'm very excited. So on top of my Pancakes and Powerslams shirt that I have on right now, on top of the Big Gold belt that I got back from the set of belts back there, the Attitude Era Winged Eagle, big one, not the Winged Eagle, not before that. So you have the Attitude Era, and then of course you have the current one right there, the current WWE Championship, and the big gold Real World Champion brother. I brought out this one for PNP 400 to showcase for tonight. So on top of that, I got the cup, the Ohio State Cup. What's in the cup? I'm about to hashtag what's in the cup. for those who listen to the PNP show. What's in the cup? I got some trivia too. I got some Survivor Series trivia. We're just gonna have some fun, guys. It's gonna be a fun at night. All right. I did get a drink of let's see if somebody guessed it right. What's in the cup? Good guess, Cole. Sweet tea, but that is not correct. Good guess though. So which one is on here now? Greg or Brandy? Let me know. Greg or Brandy. So Greg or Brandy says Coke. No, I do not drink I mean rarely, if ever, drink dark pop. Chris says whiskey. Nope, I don't drink alcohol. Leader says chocolate milk. Nope, I'm not really a milk drinker. Good call. Apple juice. Nope. Cranberry juice. Nope. But I love cranberry apple juice. It's still my favorite. My favorite bev. Bingo. Water. Water is in the cup. Water is in the cup. Okay. All right. So let's address this. Let's address this Lexi question. Good question. Good guesses though. Lexi did say water. Oh, that sounds good. Okay, Greg is on there. Yep, good old H2O. Greg says eggnog. Hey man, thanks Cole. I appreciate it. Yeah, go to this website, patreon.com/pancakes and powerslams. Join the Patreon. That would be y'all's 400 PNP 400 gift for me, is to join the Patreon right there, brother. Become a Patreon member. And the more right now, for those who are a Patreon on the top tier for 3 months, you get a t-shirt. As I continue to build more Patreon. See, here's the thing. If y'all want me to do this full time, join the Patreon. Sounds good to me. I'll start bringing people in my studio to do live interviews. I'll start doing daily wrestling stuff. Listen, okay, look, that would be perfect for me since I'm about to become a doctor. That'll be a perfect job for me. So if you join the Patreon, that gives you, that opens up my time. I just don't have the time to do it. But if you join the Patreon and become a patron, and if I get enough patrons, well, there you go. Opens up my time. So that would be awesome. That would be a blessing. All right, so let's talk about this question from Lexi. The Tears of Michigan. Yes, Joe. Absolutely. The Tears of Michigan. They have not won a game since 2011 against Ohio State. So, all right. So let me find this question that Lexi was asking. Good guess, Cody. Oh, interesting. Real quick, Lexi, do you think they changed style because of Cody? No, that's a really interesting question. I don't think so, because Cody was the person who brought the title back. But I never thought about that. Very clever. Really interesting. I do think the title looks really nice, though. It has more of a old school feel to it. The new Universal Championship is just absolute trash. Not a fan of it at all. If you will, as Alonzo would say. All right, let me look for Lexi's question. All right, here we go. All right, so let's address this. And Evan Tech Prout is on and ready to rock and roll.
No more echoes.
All set, my friend. All right. Okay, so Corey Graves was sending a tough backlash after his tweet regarding Mauro Ranallo. Do you believe it is warranted, or has society become too sensitive? Okay, so I'll take a jab at it first. I think both. I think society has become too sensitive, especially the SJWs and the social media patrol. I think that people just don't have everything's just so offensive to everybody. With that being said, I think that Corey should not have even came close to even saying anything close to something silly like that. Like, I love Mauro Ranallo's commentary. I think Mauro Ranallo is the best commentary other than JR, and I think JR's, he's a few steps back. He barely knows, a lot of the talent. I'm a JR guy. I think JR's the GOAT when it comes to commentary. But as far as just the best for me is Mauro. I think Mauro Ranallo, and I was thinking about this during TakeOver. And I thought about this too. I think I've even mentioned on the show. Mauro Ranallo makes me feel that I'm inside the arena. And that's it is amazing. It makes me feel, not only does it make me feel that I'm inside the arena, it makes the star look huge, like larger than life. And that was one good thing about announcing back in the day. Announcing was all about making someone look like $1 million or make someone look like the most like you had to hate him. You just hated this guy. When Jake Roberts put the Cobra on Macho Man Randy Savage, just the commentary as a kid make me hate Jake. And I love Jake. And the commentary is what made and built that storyline to make me hate Jake Roberts. And that's what commentary does. Nowadays, it's just so bland. It's just so bland and just it's just painful to listen to a lot of times because they're not really building up stars. They're just really calling matches, and they're really building their commentary off of calling matches. And that's, to me, as a wrestling fan of over 30 years, that's not what commentary should be. It should be to call matches. That should be the secondary thing to really making the star look like $1 million or the most hated person alive. And Mauro does a fantastic job doing that. And he was saying it's the Mauro Ranallo show and things like that. I disagree. I think Nigel's a straight guy. To Mauro being the very energetic person, Nigel's a straight guy. I'm not a really big fan of Beth Phoenix. I think she's improving. I will say that, but I think
better than Lita.
I think she's a step down from Percy Watson. Honestly, I really liked Percy. Percy brought that energetic feel to the broadcasting team too, while Nigel was still the straight shooter. Beth is adding, Beth is growing, but the point is this: Mauro, if it's the Mauro Ranallo show, so be it, because I'm cool with it because it makes the takeovers the way it is. It makes it even more exciting. And Mauro does a really good job of branding himself. Like even when Michael Cole was doing the takeover parts of Survivor Series, it still felt out of place because you're like, man, I want to hear Mauro. You can tell the difference of hearing Michael Cole calling an NXT match as opposed to Mauro calling an NXT match. It's a huge difference, and you saw it at Survivor Series. There's a big difference. So those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts, Evan?
Well, I know for me, very few people in this chat know you personally have a background of working with colleagues and professionals and students that deal with different mental illnesses or different disabilities. People are too sensitive, which I agree. We talk about this a lot off air. Every single thing is just sensitive. The way you wink your eye, the way you wipe your mouth. Wow, shut up. Everything is just crazy. But Corey Graves, shut up. Why would you even say that? Mauro has a history of being bipolar. Great documentary that was done on him and Dove, but it's like, Corey, shut up. You're nowhere near the best. All your lines are fed on Raw. So why would you even say that or even put it on Twitter publicly, knowing that the smallest detail could shatter him? We've seen what Mauro went through with the whole JBL thing and what it took for him to get back. And now he's back. He's the voice of NXT. I love Mauro. We talked when we was in New York for Mania, Chris, and I was just getting into Mauro, and now I loved him. I watched NXT earlier today with family, and they was like laughing. They was like, "Man, this guy's excited. Oh, it's like I was at the Wargames." The way he talked about it, my aunt, my family was like, "Wow, he really felt." And they ain't watched wrestling since Bruno and Billy Graham and Vince when he had that blue jacket.
Mm-hmm.
But they were into it because it was Mauro's voice. And it's like, come on, Corey, shut up. And then for you to go against, you lied, try to say, oh, it wasn't about Mauro. But then a fan tweeted and talked about the hip hop references. And then you comment, you just solidified that you was talking about him. So you shouldn't have even said it.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, you work in WWE. If you felt that strong, Corey Graves, to say something to him, you should have talked to him one on one.
Yep.
And like you said, he's the voice of NXT. It felt weird to hear Cole call NXT matches. That's who he is. It's like Don West solidified early TNA with Mike Tenay, Tony Schiavone with WCW and Heenan and Gorilla with the old WWF. That's what Mauro is right now with NXT. When he's not commentating, Nigel McGuinness, met him tons of times, great guy. He's a grown man, former Ring of Honor champion. He can handle his own.
Yeah.
Beth Phoenix is a grown woman, married to Edge.
Right.
They can talk. They're not kids. It's like, come on.
Right.
So I didn't like the fact that Corey said it. But on the flip side, the world is too sensitive. Yeah. People in the world have what I call jelly bags. They have no backbone. And it's like, I can't say on here what we say in the city. You just gotta grow up here. Just grow some, man.
Yep.
Come on, stop complaining about everything.
Yep.
So,
yep. Greg said he loves the shirt. Hey, cool, man. Hey, if you love it so much, as the NWO would say back in the day, buy the shirt.
Buy it.
Buy the shirt.
The number on the bottom.
For those who are going to Mania in Tampa, you can buy a Pancakes and Powerslam shirt, and you can wear it in Tampa at Mania. I will be there, and I will wear that at WrestleMania.
I was hoping first that it being a PNP 400. I have it on my phone. PNP 400 day. Ohio State still is not number one, and you know me. Come on, man.
Well, they just became number one as of a few hours.
Is it really?
Yep.
Because I just checked it on my phone. Maybe I'm behind. So that's even better. For PNP 400, Ohio State is now finally number one in the college football rankings. With LSU was 2. If I'm right, is LSU 2, 3 is probably Clemson. So congrats to Ohio State. Ohio is a great state. Did you know who's better? Shout out to my Baltimore.
Woo!
Which, by the way, Angry Mark doesn't know this. This is talking. I know exactly what I'm getting you as a gift for PNP 400. And she's up Ohio. I made a call today, so I think you'll definitely love it.
That's some really good taste in water too, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited about that. Michael's asking best quarterback, running back, and coach in I guess you mean OSU.
You better be asking Chris, because I can't answer that. I can't answer that at all.
Yeah. That's for Ohio State guys.
You already know.
Is Ohio University, Michael. OSU is the Ohio State University. The best quarterback to me, man, so I've been following Ohio State football since around 88, 89. And I'll just say from my experience, the best quarterback was, so over the past 30 years, the best quarterback, maybe Troy Smith, but I think Dwayne Haskins, man, really has given him a run for his money. I think Justin Fields is on route to being. But I'm thinking others. Steve Belisari, Craig Krenzel, Stanley Jackson, Kirk Herbstreit. I'm just thinking of the list of the line of quarterbacks: JT Barrett, Joe Bowserman. I think Troy Smith is probably it over the past 30 years. He won the Heisman. So best running back. Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott is the best running back in my experience as an Ohio State fan. And the best coach was Urban Meyer. 7-0 versus Michigan. National championship. The first college football playoff winner. And that's a great question. Great question. All right. So what other stuff? Let's see what else we got here. Alonzo says Corey's ego's out of control. I'm just not a fan of his. Never was. I can see that, Alonzo, for sure. All right. Lexi's bringing the heat once again. Rumors are running rampant that VKM is upset at Seth for addressing the elephant that is CM Punk. Do you believe that CM Punk will make an inning appearance in 2020, or is it all fodder? Now, yes, there has been talks that there has been rumblings that Vince McMahon was not happy with Seth Rollins for calling out CM Punk because he was also duly upset with Paul Heyman and Steve Austin back a few years ago when Heyman was on Austin's podcast. And they kind of teased, not really, but they kind of brought up possible Austin versus Lesnar. And Vince McMahon was very upset with that too. And so he was upset with the Austin Punk thing too. Okay, so I think that it's legit that Vince McMahon is probably upset because he's not happy. He's not happy about stuff that don't deliver. That he can't promise to deliver, which makes sense from a business standpoint. I totally understand it. I agree with it. I mean, if something can't deliver, if something's not in the books, and he's not sure that he can get the person. See, this is what happens because essentially what happens is that CM Punk stock is now astronomically higher when he, as far as pay wise, as far as negotiating a deal, because now you've already kind of put an angle on the table of CM Punk versus Seth Rollins at Mania, and so heading into Mania, his contract negotiations is going to be through the roof because he's one of the biggest assets in professional wrestling now as far as acquisition wise, because you already have an angle on the table that fans want, which is Seth Rollins versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. So if anything, it just helps CM Punk make more money in his pocket. Yeah. So of course, from a business standpoint, that would make Vince McMahon upset because Seth Rollins basically handed CM Punk thousands more dollars if he's negotiating a contract, right, with Vince McMahon. So Seth Rollins essentially just gave CM Punk more money. He just basically ripped Vince McMahon's money, stole Vince McMahon's money from his bank account and handed it to CM Punk because he made him an even bigger asset, to be signed if it was to happen. So, CM Punk could thank Seth Rollins for that. But of course, rightfully so, Vince McMahon wouldn't be happy with that, nor would any other business owner be happy about that.
Yeah, I agree. It's little birdies I've got inside. Punk is only wrestling WrestleMania if he gets the main event. And do you really want to see Seth Rollins against Punk? Do you really want to see that? Do we really want to see Rock and Cena too. We saw it anyway. So it comes to a point where Seth is doing whatever he can do to get himself over. His stock is dropped. Nobody really cares. Good in ring performer, but his stock is dropped. He called him CM Punk, like you said. I didn't call you out. You called me out, so now I can negotiate how much I want.
Exactly.
CM Punk's only coming to WWE in the ring if he gets the main event WrestleMania and gets a big purse.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to see CM Punk against Triple H? That makes sense. I really don't care to see it, but we get the storyline they might do. If so, but come on, Seth.
Yeah.
Between Seth Rollins and Corey Graves, their stocks from the summertime to now has dropped tremendously.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, it helps Rollins' stock build up, but again, it just at the cost of Vince McMahon giving CM Punk more money. All right, so as this is awesome, guys. I'm really having a good time. Let me screen these comments before I put them up. I agree, Dale. It's better heel than the face. That is.
His voice is just annoying.
Yes.
I cannot stand his voice. I'm sorry.
Yes. Alonzo agrees. No. No. Honestly, if Taker comes back, and we'll talk a little bit about the Taker interview with Stone Cold. Cody says your camera's kind of jacked up. Maybe they're
gonna get on your end.
So it's pixelated, but
yeah.
last week it seemed a lot better, but it's all right. There's no problem regardless.
Is that better?
No, not really, but it's all right. It's
okay.
It's no big deal. Yeah, they can hear you. It's all right.
I guess that's better.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, I would say if it was up to me, if this was if Undertaker's competing at WrestleMania, I want him to go against Brock Lesnar because it's like, okay, Undertaker versus, I wouldn't want Undertaker to lose again. Because you just don't want him to and he made such a good point, he didn't want to be known by what happened at 30. He didn't remember any of the match,
right?
And then at Saudi against Goldberg, he didn't want to be remembered as that being his last match too. And just a regular loss against someone like a Drew, which they start and stop push him, and it's like that's the bad thing about losing to anybody who's a current star right now, is that it's so many start-stop pushes that losing again, beating the Undertaker would be fantastic, but at the same time, WWE doesn't really stick with the character that it really wouldn't mean nothing in 2 months after a person beats the Undertaker. So
yeah, I don't.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't want anybody. I just want anybody to beat Taker, and I still think Taker getting retribution 6 years later against Brock Lesnar, which I still think was a huge mistake, of beating him.
It goes with this. I know we joke about this. I gotta say this because it's history and it's PNP 400. The match everybody wants to see between Taker is the Undertaker versus Sting. Now, when we say it, we don't know, but come on, man. Thank you, that's the only match you want to see Taker. Now, I heard from a little birdie too. You might get to see Taker against Orton next year. We don't know. But let's be realistic. What dream matches are left that we have from yesteryear? Undertaker and Sting. People want to see that. Orton and The Rock. We want to see that. Will it happen? I don't think
Yes, I do want to see Orton.
People still want to see that. You may not want to see it, but people did. Even outside, Undertaker, Sting, Rock, and Randy Orton. That's about it. Maybe The Rock and Shawn Michaels would have been amazing. But that's it. I mean, think about those 3 matches.
I don't want to see Taker versus Sting at Mania, man.
That match will be. I mean, we saw Bret and Vince. Can it be worse than that? No. We saw.
Close.
I saw this in
Probably
person.
Close.
I saw this in person. I witnessed Jerry the King Lawler and Michael Cole. I can go through some other ones. So at the end of the day,
that was rough.
And Vance, you can let us know about Dream. If it wasn't for Hogan having the previous back surgery, not this one this year, but the one before this, if we would have got Hogan against Captain 4Kid Cena. Are you kidding me? Do you want to see that? My man Bischoff, good friend of mine too, said Hogan against Cena. Did we really want to see that? So at the end of the day, it's either take a Sting, Orton and The Rock, maybe The Rock and Shawn Michaels, which I would love to see, but that's never going to happen. That is it. If there's any other dream matches we've not seen yet, let us know. No, nobody wants to see The Rock and Chavo. Shout out to Chavo Guerrero, the most underrated and forgot third generation superstar.
You know what, man? I popped when Chavo won the ECW championship.
Right.
I did. I popped when he won the championship because it's like, man, well deserved. Finally, he gets some type of credibility. Chavo is definitely one of the most underrated stars of wrestlers of all time, for sure.
And I take this back to you. I just saw Dale say this: Austin and Hogan, another match. I mean, Hogan's back. Austin. That was another dream match we never got to see. Never really got to see Stone Cold against Cena. So it's still some. What I'm at 5. That's about it.
Undertaker versus Becky Lynch. Bucket.
Yeah, okay. All right. And WWE 2K20 with the glitches.
That's a good one. HBK versus Styles. But I agree with what HBK said before. Like he's not just gonna, and it's similar to what I said about the Undertaker. He's not just gonna come back and just put AJ Styles over, like just because that doesn't really help anybody.
A match we never got to see. Speaking of HBK. Yeah, I have the old magazines back in the day when we used to have magazines like the WWF magazine. Miss Man Undertaker. We should have saw President Jack Tunney versus Vince.
President Jack Tunney.
Jack Tunney. Should have saw that. Or Jack Tunney against Nick Botwinkle. HBK versus that would have been really cool. Still technically could see it, make it an unsanctioned match. I mean, look at the history. HBK, Daniel Bryan trained at the school, the American Dragon. Mm-hmm. But Goldberg against Matt Riddle. But
that would be fun for like a Rumble.
It would be. It would be better than Undertaker Taker. It would be better than Undertaker Goldberg at Saudi Arabian show. What is it? Greatest Rumble, Crown Jewel, whatever they call it. Super Showdown 3.
Yeah, Super Showdown, yeah.
Yep. Sound like one of them B-list karate movies. Super Showdown, Best of the Best.
Right. Right. All right. So let's jump into these headlines, and then guys, just give me your thoughts on just do grades for TakeOver and Survivor Series. To be honest with you, I'd rather freestyle it for the next 35 minutes than to really spend time talking about TakeOver and Survivor Series. Evan, just your real quick thoughts on TakeOver and Survivor Series.
TakeOver was great. TakeOver was an A. I thought it was great. Kyo. Yep. The women's match. I mean, Mauro just making everything wonderful. Good to see Finney Balor against Matt Riddle.
Yep.
The Wargames match was amazing. The air raid off the cage. Good job.
That's what I love about it. You can see him get out. You can see him get out of his seat.
Right.
Like if you're watching the match and you see Mauro Ranallo, you can see him get. Oh, yeah. Eric, mama, man! Like he's like so into the.
I love that, man. You gotta love it.
Yeah, because it makes me into it. If I see him, I see him in the background doing this and standing up and stuff. like it makes me like so much into it just as much as he is.
This is when you know when commentating sucks. You can watch Raw and SmackDown or WWE main pay-per-view with the mute button.
Right, exactly.
Do you want to watch
NXT
with the mute button? No, we done it. It's a joke.
Yeah.
Would you watch a old Monday Night Raw? Would you watch an old WWF Superstars? Would you watch an old Nitro or Saturday Night on mute? No, because you wanted to hear Heenan, you wanted to hear Gorilla, maybe Jesse Ventura, Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain of WCW, Paul Heyman, Mike Tenay, anybody, even what's up, man, Lance Russell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
we got a good one down here in Evansville.
The crowd is amazing. You would not watch those old shows. You know,
No.
Championship Wrestling Florida on mute because you wanted to hear it. Yep. You can watch Raw with me. Me and Mike Ryan do it. We joke about that all the time. Let's put Raw on mute, watch Monday Night Football, and put Raw on the phone.
Gordon Stoley. Belly
the crimson mask.
What a crimson mask. He hits the suplex.
You gotta do the mouth too. You got the suplex. What a match shaking here like that. But TakeOver was great. Yeah. Survivor Series B-, and reasons to be Keith Lee, Big Star. Yes. Why was Roman Reigns helping out Seth Rollins? Makes no sense. When did they decide it was like all three wrestlers in the ring? The women's match dragged. No one cared. I text you this. Watching Survivor Series, I said, "What is the main event?" I'm wrecking my brain. I'm watching with a good friend of mine and my cousin. Gee, what was the main event? And it was the women's match. Brock and Ray was great. Great storyteller. I thought it was wonderful. Yep. I thought it was amazing. It didn't need to be fast. The Nakamura match was cool. It was just hit or miss. Has it been worse Survivor Series? Yes. Survivor Series 99. Mm-hmm. Has it been better? Yes. It's been a lot better. Survivor Series was okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and Becky Lynch. Watch this live chat. Watch this. I just said this on my show. So the softest announce table bump in history. Yeah. Put Becky Lynch on the table didn't move. Nothing on the table moved. The water bottle, the monitor, the table, the papers, nothing moved. Go back and watch it.
That is so true, man.
Nothing. We know the softest chair shot in the world is Sid hitting Hogan.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the Rumble or one of them, but
that might have been Mania 8 one. Oh no, it might have been a Rumble. I know
one of them.
Yeah, I know they fought at the Mania 8. the no DQ finish for Mania.
Right.
That was terrible. But I think you hit the nail on both of them. I think TakeOver was fantastic. I think the TakeOver was an A show. I think it was fantastic. I think SummerSlam was about a B- for me, C+.
Keith Lee, man. Yeah, Keith Lee.
I think it was a coming out party for Keith Lee. I think it was a coming out party for Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair. I think those three names really stood out for me for Survivor Series. If they're, the point is to really put NXT on a map for Survivor Series. I mean, to really make them, as far as kind of continue their momentum since they did beat Raw in the ratings wars for the first time. I think it's a good call as far as doing that. Now, making NXT win the whole thing like 4-2 to 1.
Because of AEW.
Yeah, you could tell it's for AEW, but building your Survivor Series around NXT, putting NXT over. I mean, I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical for that, because at the same time, at the end of the day, NXT is still the third brand. So it hurts your Raw and SmackDown if you're making NXT. So here's the thing. NXT goes to Raw or SmackDown, they dominate. And then Raw and SmackDown comes to NXT. NXT still wins matches. And then NXT wins Survivor Series. So it's like, what happened with Fox and the whole big SmackDown thing? What I mean? It's like, that was just really, really weird.
And I guarantee you the plot holes. Let's look at this. WWE was cheap. We gotta let NXT defeat AEW. NXT defeated AEW because they bought in the main roster.
Yeah.
So I pretty much guarantee you AEW is going to win again because you're not going to see the main roster people in NXT. So let's look at this plot hole. All right. So you got NXT, then invade SmackDown and Raw. Okay. And then you have current WWE former world champion.
Series. I'm sorry if I said SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I don't mean
Survivor
Survivor.
Survivor Series. Don't forget them backgrounds. Some of the little blocks you know. Mean Gene talking in the back. That's about all the teams. Wherever they all the teams used to get together, like all switched up, like the camera. We like 5. You had to pan the cameras. People go to right and the left. We're gonna win. They even had team names. But and then it's like, let's look. NXT they invade. You had multiple world champions, Seth Boy Rollins, and you got Daniel Bryan challenging for the NXT title. So now NXT is on the same level as Raw and SmackDown. They lost. Now NXT defeated in a Survivor Series. So if you want to be consistent with your storylines, so when the Rumble shows up, does that mean who wins the right, Alonzo? See that? So does that mean who wins the Rumble? They get to choose for the NXT title too. Money in the Bank doesn't mean you win the Money in the Bank. Doesn't mean I can now challenge for the NXT title. Doesn't mean the NXT title can main event WrestleMania. Nope.
I want Adam Cole for the NXT Championship.
I WrestleMania. Shut up. You gotta do this. Look. Not gonna inject my lethal dose. You gotta do shit. Hold up.
Of course, right.
Okay, see it.
Me in the end. Oh.
I bet you Pritchard probably was the one that drew the NWO by the back. I bet you.
Right. Let's see. Michael gave the Survivor Series a C. Yeah. A- for TakeOver for Alonzo. Mo says A+ in Survivor Series. B+. TakeOver A.
Over A.
Ryan.
Shout out to our chat fans, the PNP Nation, of the fans who have no picture at all. The Mo, JEL, Mike Ryan. I've known Mike for 6 years. I don't even know how he looks. Shout out to you guys that just has just the blank what do you call it?
Avatars.
The avatars. No, in wrestling. Vacant. That's what it is. The vacant.
Oh, the vacant. Yeah.
Vacant avatar. The shout out for having vacant on your profile.
Man, look, I'm glad you said that. So do me a favor, PNP Nation. Get some pictures. Let's we are a family atmosphere on this show. We are the PNP Nation. And get some pictures on your avatar so you can put yourselves over when I'll put you over.
Well, Michael
put over a blank
Mike Ryan has a contract, social media contract that he can't display any pictures.
Well, if that's the case, that's fine. I get it. Which probably isn't the case, but yeah. If look, get you an avatar, man. Look, I don't care what it is, as long as it's people. I prefer if you get yourself a picture on your avatar. But if like Evans has his company logo, I'm fine with that. But get you an avatar. I just don't want to be putting blank stuff up there. So if you can do that for me, grab you a picture. So when I put you up there, your avatar would be coming up. All right. So let's talk about some headlines real quick. Yes, Mo, we do need a picture. Mo, you got a picture on Facebook. So that's nothing big. Yeah, I'm the only pick. Yeah, you and Lexi are here. See, Sports Auto. Sport. You got a brand. I would, look.
Yeah,
I would prefer this to be a picture right here.
Right.
This is your logo. I get it. I'm cool with at least it's something, but
not vacant.
But let's get a picture, if you will. Yeah, Mo says sounds good. All right, cool. Cool. Get y'all a picture, guys.
Where's my man GHP at? Shout out to him.
Yeah. He ain't
question real quick to you, Chris, and to the fan. What was what was that? Becky's entrance. What in the cream cheese? She just came out. She had like the little, I don't know what you call that, the little thing on her head, whatever that is, Xena Warrior Princess head, whatever that was. And she just walked out.
Yeah.
What are we watching? I like Becky, but it's like what was that?
Yeah,
It was no, she didn't move her hand, and then she just walked out like she was sleepy, like she got, you know how it is. As kids, when we used to take cough medicine, used to get as drowsy, used to still have to walk in the kitchen and get something to drink. That's how she walked out. Just it's like, what are we watching? I like Becky. I didn't get the entrance.
Yeah,
It did nothing to boost her up.
Yep.
I mean, she wrestled most of the match.
Agreed. All right, so let's jump in real quick, guys. Let's jump into some headlines.
Do that, Michael. Do that, Michael Ryan.
Let's start off with Seth Rollins' boy. So his heel turn wasn't his heel turn wasn't planned. It was something off the cusp. Both calls were on Becky. You add a Chris Featherstone picture. No, that would be weird.
Do it, Michael.
You'll come with this other profile. That's cool. That works.
Do it, Mike.
Yes, that's true, Alonzo.
Yeah, it's true. It's legit.
Got some indie bookings.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, Rollins, Seth boy. Heel turn wasn't planned. I think this is a good gear, though. I think this is a good call to do this. You just kind of go with it, you know. And I think he should have been a heel.
He's better than heel.
He should have been a heel a long time ago, and I think this is a good way to make him a heel officially. And I think, you know, he's getting booed, and heels are supposed to get booed, and so there you go.
And he's the happy. He's a better heel. You got shout out to one of my staff members saw team mentioned Rollins with the pit bulls. Put him up with AOP. They don't talk as it is. I guess they kind of talk.
Yeah.
Was it Razor? What's the other dude name?
Akam.
But wasn't one of the monsters in Ninja Turtles 2 named Razor or Raycar or something?
I think
look at that phone. It is I mean, I don't know whatever you call it, a stable, but Rollins with AOP is cool.
Yeah.
Just make it happen. Kevin Owens is on Raw. He could take over as the top babyface with Rollins being a heel.
Yep, I agree.
That means we have to hear him talk more because he has to put himself back over as a heel.
Yes, he does. But I'm open. I'm open to it. I'm definitely open to it, and I think this is a good move from to push Seth Rollins. You know, he's been booed, so I'm cool with it. Oh, so WWE files 2 ECW trademarks. They file for Barely Legal and Cyberslam. So I find this very, very interesting. That's
we know why
we do that. What do you think?
One,
I agree with this, Cole. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Over Bray.
Should have had him win the title with like Mania.
Yeah.
Or the Rumble. I think it goes with AEW.
Ooh, that's true.
Cody. Whoa.
Yeah.
YouTube has this result. I'm sorry. Even Google, the Illuminati attacks. I was talking to Google wanted to come up. Wanted to even look how great your show is. PMP 400. Even the Google assistant wanted to jump in and add.
Nice.
Because it just came up. AEW Cody Rhodes. I lied to you not. Because Cody is trying to get the trademark names. He got Bash at the Beach. He was trying to get Wargames. First of all, how many
beyond
the match beyond? Which I miss that old school Wargames music. You know that the siren is cool, but just need to. You know. I think WWE is trying to cover their bases. They want to trademark these names so Cody can't get them. Mm-hmm. First of all, 60% of the wrestling population didn't even know these were ECW pay-per-views.
Yeah.
We knew Barely Legal, Anarchy Rules,
Yeah.
Cyberslam.
Yep.
Most people like, what's a Cyberslam? But I like it's true. I knew, but most people say Barely Legal,
Yeah.
Anarchy Rules. But what was some other ones?
November to Remember.
November to Remember.
Um,
Slam. I'm sorry, I'm lazy. Help us out, chat. The ECW pay per view names.
yeah.
Barely Legal.
Yeah, we got that one. Barely Legal. So you say Anarchy Rules. November to Remember. Yeah. The PNP Nation.
Guilty as charged.
Yep.
Hardcore
Guilty as
Heaven.
Charged. Heat Wave.
Heat Wave. Russell Palooza. I had to go to Google.
WrestlePalooza. Yep.
Living Dangerously.
Living Dangerously. Yep.
I said Hardcore Heaven.
I think Living Dangerously was the one. Was that the one with Jerry Lynn?
I think so. Against Rivet.
Yeah.
They wrestled in 3.
Let me see.
Also, Massacre 34th Street.
Okay.
Which we forgot about. I'm sorry, fans. I know we're professional broadcast.
Living Dangerously was RVD versus Jerry Lynn, 99. Yep.
Was that 3? Because remember they did 3 matches.
That was second. That was the second Living Dangerously.
Second one, okay. Yeah. I know they had like trio matches. Sorry, I know fans were like professional broadcasters, and we have to sit here and Google ECW pay per view.
Yeah, I don't know why. Hey, don't shame my game with.
Wait, here we go. Old school. Buddy just sent me Battle of the Belts, Super Summer Sizzler.
I remember that one.
Ultra Clash '93.
Yeah.
Terror at Tabor, and Holiday Hell.
I remember that one too.
Yep. The night the line was canceled. The night the line was crossed.
Yep.
Ultimate Jeopardy. Worlds Collide. Hostile City Showdown.
I remember that one.
NWA World Title Tournament.
Yeah, and the one with the franchise.
And they had sub names: Return of the Funker, Double Tables,
I remember that one. Yep.
Three-Way Dance, Enter Sandman.
I remember Three-Way Dance. Yep.
Barbed Wire Hoodies and Choke Slams.
I don't remember that one.
Gangsta's Paradise.
I remember that one.
December to Dismember. House Party. Big Apple Blizzard. It's a whole bunch. Some of these names I forgot.
Yeah.
But there you go, fans. ECW pay-per-view names.
Yep. Interesting. The
Undertaker.
Yes. So real quick, guys. There's some really cool. Yeah, there's some really cool comments on here.
Yeah, looking at them, good stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool. Sato's asking, should Raw and SmackDown start their own takeovers, pay-per-views instead of TLC? No, that's it. Keep that in an NXT thing. Lonzo's asking opinion on Leo Rush and how he's been booked since he's been returned. I think he's been booked.
Right.
I think he's on a good spot.
Right.
All right. So, PNP Nation, your thoughts on? Yes, we'll talk about that, Mo. Your thoughts on the Taker interview, and then we'll jump into the flavor of the week. Evan, what are your thoughts on Taker? So basically, there was one moment he talks about how he credits Jake Roberts as far as developing his character. He was listening to certain music and certain
Michael Myers.
Yeah, Michael Myers. He said he was even looking at Bible verses to really make a hybrid character. Credits Jake Roberts, man. Jake Roberts is definitely one of the best minds in the business. And I think when I interviewed Jake Roberts, he was even talking about desiring to be like a promo guy in NXT.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, why don't he be the next Dusty? You know what I mean? Like Dusty was the promo coach. He was one of the big promo coaches in NXT. I'm like, why don't they just bring in Jake Roberts as the NXT guy? It just makes perfect sense to me. I don't know why they wouldn't do that.
Jake is one of the greats. We both had the the honor of interviewing him. I've had the pleasure of doing some travels with him, being backstage at certain shows. He literally threw the Cobra on me random. He always does that.
Wow.
Here you go. He got the voice. Something about Jake.
Yeah, he's got that real raspy voice, like he's
you got 21. I got 22.
You
got
want
21. I got 22.
22.
Something Jake Roberts told me. We was at a signing 2 years ago, and it was shown on the TV like old WWF stuff. So they showed the infamous Savage, the Cobra. And he mentioned some stuff, but Savage kind of moved one way he was supposed to move. Mm-hmm. He said, "Hey, look at this, look at this." And he always got that little pop with like, look at this. What do you see? He did just like this. Look at me. What do you see? Like what he said, the crowd. They don't do that anymore. Look, the crowd. Look at that kid. Look, they show emotions. They don't do that anymore. That's what made it. He went like this, effective. Like
that's what makes it effective.
But excuse me, I lied to you now. But Jake is great. I mean, like you said, the great Dusty, Gone on the Heaven and the Mothership.
Oh man, you know what I just thought of? So we talked last week, and there's been a bunch of talks on like who could really be a good interview other than Taker, because it's hard to set the bar with Taker. Yeah. I would love to see Jake on an Austin podcast. Now that would be a really good interview to really talk with Taker, because it's really hard to match Taker. I mean,
top that. How do you top that?
30 years of someone who's been in kayfabe, and he's just kind of shooting a breeze, with Taker, with Austin. That was fantastic, man. And I think Jake would be a fantastic person.
The route to go is you said this on my show. We talked about it last week. A buddy of mine literally just texted me and was like, "Hope WWE does not try to get Austin to interview CM Punk. Hope not." But where do you go? You get a Jake Roberts. Maybe you go to the legendary route. Get like Ted DiBiase. Like I mean, even though DiBiase name may not give enough luster as a Jake, but just those stories of the territories and traveling.
Yeah.
But where do you go? Your premiere is Taker. That's here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is here. How do you? Where do you?
Yeah, that's a bar.
Jake. Like, where do you go?
Yeah.
We've seen Vince. We've seen Shane. We've seen Trips. We've seen Stephanie. Get what? Linda McMahon. What do you? You know what? I would get Shane and Triple H next to each other and talk about some heat. We know they don't like each other.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Get Kevin Dunn.
Kevin Dunn. Put your finger on the switch, Dunn.
DX.
Oh, these stupid rules.
In the last line of the DX song is verbatim. Does anybody know who's sleeping with who?
Yes. Yes. Does anybody know who's sleeping with who?
It's like, what? It's flip the switch done, but who's done? Back in the day, we didn't know. Like, who was
we didn't know who Kevin Dunn was. Yeah.
That was one of the producers.
What are you talking about, Dunn? You put your finger on the switch, Dunn. Yeah. All right. Get Eric Bischoff part 2. Well, Eric, he said he's interested coming back. So I am down for that. All right.
Tommy Dreamer. Somebody said Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah. Cole
I love Dreamer, but Taker, man, is here. It's like look at it like this. Think about this, fans, so you get the perspective. You have a main event, your first pay-per-view, and it's Flair Sting, the first Clash match,
Right.
or it's Savage Steamboat WrestleMania 3,
Yeah.
or it's Kenta. I'm gonna wait Kenta Kobashi against Joe, or it's Kenta Kobashi against Misawa, or it's Ricky Steamboat and Flair, or Dusty and Flair, or Tully against Magnum. If you start off with certain matches that are just all-time greats, some of the greatest of all time, what are you going to do to fight? I mean, Rock and Roll against Midnight, which has been public. Dusty, baby, if you will. Dusty didn't want to book with Rock and Roll and book the Rock and Roll Express at other times because you need the Rock and Roll Express to outdraw him. It's public. So you got Rock and Roll Midnight, or when you get to that point, how are you going to follow?
Yep.
In relationships, we got to talk this back in the day. You start dating a girl. First thing you do, anybody listen, if you're single, if you're dating, whatever, you're trying to, Helly Gully, as Dusty say, your first date is never at a 5-star restaurant. I've been blessed to eat at a few. Angry Mark, McRyan can say that. I've been blessed to go personally with one with my sweetheart. We ain't start here. Featherstone, you married. And I'm gonna be saying, you married, brother. Your first date, was it at a 5-star? Was it at Capitol Grill with Ruth Chris? Or
my first date? I'm gonna tell you what my first date was. My first date, I got Lynn on my phone here. My first date with my wife was at none other.
When you was married?
When I was dating. My first date.
Okay.
My wife, yeah. Was Johnny Rockets. That was my first date with my wife. Johnny Rockets. And,
gosh.
We caught a movie and went to Johnny Rockets, and that was it. Yep.
I've never said this publicly. You want to know? My first date with my love was actually here in this house. My mom was living and actually cooked.
Oh,
me like a date, it's true. Nice. I didn't have any money to go out. I'm in college, working part-time, full-time college student. Hey, I could never said that publicly. They go PNP Nation 400. I ain't even said it on my show.
That's anywhere. Legit, though. That's legit though. That's like legit. For first date, like that's a people, man. That's a
and keeper. Then I didn't cook again before a date for like a year. Because we went out, you know what I mean? She cooked, parents cooked, family cooked, we went out. So I wasn't taking 5-star. So that's the analogy. You got to take it. That's 5-star restaurant, man. That's 5-star hotel. Yeah. First time. What you going to do to follow that? You can only keep, because if you go low, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. All right. What are your Raw and SmackDown grades? Raw and SmackDown grades. Real quick.
Man.
I didn't ask any trivia. First trivia question. Who won the WWE Championship at the 1998 Survivor Series? Who won the WWE Championship at the 1998 Survivor Series?
Thank you to Michael Ryan. No, I don't need to kick you dinner. But love you, brother. I kid. I had to watch Raw highlights. My Ravens was killing the Rams. Prayer request for the Rams. Raw was C. SmackDown, I give it a B- because of the new IC title. I think Sami Zayn is hilarious. I think Sami Zayn is one of the best things in WWE. He hasn't wrestled a match in forever. I mean, back in the he was doing all this to Nakamura entrance.
Yeah,
funny stuff. I would say SmackDown actually, I think, was a notch better than Raw.
I agree. Yeah.
So Raw, I give a C basic, and SmackDown, I give a B-. When was the last time on this show, on my show, fans on PNP Nation? When was the last time we gave Raw and SmackDown all A's for both shows?
Probably never. Like I don't even remember.
Not in some years. Not in years.
Yeah, I agree. Somebody got the question correct, and that would be Cole. The Rock. The Rock. All right, next question. Yeah, yeah.
1997, right, Mike?
I was just man. Like I'm just looking at the. I mean, I'm interested in the Rollins ALP thing, but it was just regular, just matches booked. Like it was just a bit. I mean, SmackDown was cool. I mean, there were some higher spots, but yeah, I'll probably give SmackDown a B-, Raw C+.
I want to know this, Chris. I know wear glasses is cool. Chris, I know you're blessed with the eyes God gave you. Didn't need any help. PNP Nation, that HD red light that Bray had in Survivor Series was killing my eyes. I'm sorry.
Everybody says that.
I could not. I could not. It, Mike. You can come by my house Saturday night if you want. You're not gonna get an answer. Nobody be home. But it was killing my eyes.
Yeah, people.
Maybe because it's the HD.
Everybody been.
I don't know if you agree, Chris, or what the fans think, but that red light, this is very distracting.
Yeah, I think it adds to the match, but a lot of people are saying that. A lot of people have been saying that it's been bad. What was the main event of the 1995 Survivor Series? What was the main event of the 1995 Survivor Series? All right, so let's spend the next 10 minutes, really like 5-10 minutes. What are your thoughts? Your favorite for those who've been well, first of all, thanks everybody. This has been this PNP 400 has been everything I imagined and more. I've had such a wonderful time tonight celebrating 400 episodes for the show. I had a exclusive audio interview right before the show with Eric Bischoff, so that's going to be written up. And also, I'm going to play it for PNP in the next week or so. Some really good stuff that we talked about as far as whether he would work with AEW, and he shared some thoughts on CM Punk. So some really, really cool stuff that we talked about on the exclusive audio interview that I had with Eric Bischoff before we had the Q&A. So check out Digital Spy for that. I'll do a write-up on Digital Spy, and I'll be playing the audio in the coming weeks. So check that out. Got some really cool stuff coming up as far as who's going to be on the show. We've got some new faces, some new legendary faces coming up too. So that's going to be really fun too. So this is awesome. Hey man, Cole is a newbie, and that says a lot, man. Dude, I love this show. Staying up way too late. Well, Cole, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. This is the 400th episode of this show. It's been 400 straight weeks that we've done this. Evan's been along for the ride for about 3 years now. Yeah,
it's been about 3-4 years.
Because we started going to Mania together at 33, and that was in 2017.
And then then I asked to help you, and then it was like 16. With all 2017. My mom was here at the house. I was doing the show. Yeah. Over 3 years.
Yeah, so it's been over 3 years. Yep. So thanks, Cole, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate the love. Go ahead and subscribe to the Crave Wrestling YouTube channel for any alerts. And thanks, man. I appreciate it for this being your first time that you love the show, man. So that says a lot. I appreciate it. We have a wrestler interview every week. Mm-hmm. So that's what stands us out on the Pancakes Powerslams show, that there's a wrestler, either a taped interview or most of it's been live. Most of it's actually live Q&As that we do with a wrestler from WWE. Formerly WWE. I've had NXT people here. I've had WWE people here. I've had NWA people here. I've had ROH Impact. Yeah, like Japan. Yeah, I have a wrestler here every week, so that's what stands us out here on the PNP show. So, thanks a lot for your support, man. I appreciate you enjoying the show. Michael, yes, Diesel and Bob Backlund. No, actually, it was Bret Hart and Diesel. So that is incorrect. I thought I saw. Okay, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. That was the one. Yeah, Bret Hart and Diesel. That was the correct one. All right, one more question before we hit the road, and I'll go ahead and bring up your favorite PNP moments. I'll go ahead and bring them up before we go. Here we go. Here's my favorite question here. What state was the 1987 and 1988 Survivor Series held? What state was the 1987 and 1988 Survivor Series held? What state was it held? All right. Yeah, Mo. Thanks, man. Mo is a loyal man. He's
Shout out to Mo.
One of the dopest, most loyal PNP nationers. We used to be in up late. It's worth it. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's your favorite interview, guys, so far? What's your favorite interview? Your favorite PNP moments, your favorite PNP interview.
Thank you, Greg.
Let's
shout out to Greg.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate you, man. Every week, 11 p.m. Eastern time, every Tuesday, 11 p.m. Eastern time. So hop on. Every single week. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it. Somebody got it right. And that person is Elvis. It was an right there. See that?
Huh? Sponsored by Coca-Cola, which is a great drink.
It wasn't sponsored by that. It's right there. You said OHIO. Ohio. It's where it was.
Did you look on the bottom of the cup?
Yeah, I did.
What does it say? Coca-Cola. Sponsored by Coca-Cola. Great road drink.
It says nothing because they're not paying us. They're not paying us for payment.
Great road drink, as I can say.
Block O.
MR.
Block O. You got the Brutus right there. Ohio is where it was. The best darn band in the land and the best state in the nation. So everyone would disagree.
And favorite moment so far. A lot of fans, Cody and Lonzo saying Rocka Khan, the Mo, Black Bart. I gotta say to me.
Let's see. Yeah, Rocka Khan.
Man.
The old Black Bart's a close second. And the damn thing you can do about it.
Rocket Cohen, for me, is we're personal friends. And since we know each other professionally doing our shows, I inboxed you privately and I was sitting there, I said, oh man, we're live, pal.
Yes.
This is like I just need oh man.
Yeah. PCL is Michaels. Go ahead, Evan.
Honestly, I never said this publicly. My favorite moment personally on your show, when you trusted me, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was something with your kids. Something came up. You couldn't do the show. You asked me to do the show for you. So I think
that was my back surgery. You did it for a couple weeks.
Yeah. So I have the record, I think, of hosting PNP by myself twice. Your back surgery, I can't remember the other thing. One of them times you don't know this.
Well, you did it 2 straight weeks for my
straight weeks.
Back surgery. Yeah. You interviewed Mo and my boy.
Our buddy.
Bobby Fulton.
Bobby Fulton, a good old buddy.
Yeah. Yep.
So and I know I was dedicated because personally I don't know, my mom was living at the time. So I worked all day did my show. So in the midst of taking care of my mother, bedpan and everything, while doing Chris's show.
Wow.
And so that was I was like, wow, I appreciate that you trusted me. He was like, hey man, I need you to do the show. And I was like, all right, cool. I know what it's like. You have your baby. You can't trust your baby with everybody. So,
Yes, sir.
but best
Absolutely.
interview, Rocket Con. You've interviewed a lot of great people, but
Yep.
Rocket
Yep.
Con, man, Rocket Con won. Sound like a
Yeah, Rocket Kai gets the interview of the year for for PNP. We're gonna be doing some PNP awards too. So this is just a teaser because we usually do like best like wrestling stuff, but I think I'm gonna do something different this year. I think I'm gonna do best interview, worst interview as far as this the interview. So go to the archive. I'm giving y'all like a month in advance. So best moment, best interview, funniest moment, wildest moment. We'll do that for the PNP awards for this year. We'll do something different. That'll be funny.
hey, you got Alonzo. You got Alonzo. My man
Oh,
got a
first of all,
question.
it's not my Boo Bear. That's my wife. And I have interviewed Jay Lethal. He's my favorite wrestler. Yes, he is.
Yeah,
Yes, fans are voting for awards. So this is going to be all fans. This is going to be all y'all doing it. So y'all going to vote for the best interview, the worst interview, as far as the interviewer being kind of like boring to listen to based on his or her just not really being into his interview. So this is what the PNP Nation is all about. You guys are going to shoot it straight for those who are listening. For that person who wasn't a very good interviewer, that person can listen to the show and say you got an avid, great support group of fans that said your interview wasn't very good. so maybe you need to work on your interviewing skills. So yeah, do it, man. Do it, guys. So best interview, worst interview, best funniest moment, craziest moment. So yeah, we'll do for that. That's all fans. So yeah.
you got people saying, my words 10 to time. People saying Jay Lethal was your boo bear.
No.
And
No.
Mrs. Featherstone, beautiful lady, is Chris's boo bear.
She is. She's
But
all the Boo Bear I need and more.
we all have sports boo bears, and we know Jay Lethal for you, Sting, in Ohio State.
Jay Lethal and Sting. Yeah.
Shout
They're
out
not my Boo Bears.
to
They're the goats, but they're not my well. Sting is the GOAT. Jay Lethal is my current favorite. He has been for the past few years. But yes, I have interviewed Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal's been on my show.
great guy.
And I also interviewed him for media, and Evan did too. But yeah, so yeah, go to the archives. Go to the archives. Go to all. This is all on Spotify and Blog Talk Radio, whatever form you want to listen to it. If you want to go to all the archives, it's blogtalkradio.com/pancakes and powerslams. So check out all of the interviews this year if you want to. You have the next month to binge on the interviews. So if you go here, blogtalkradio.com/pancakes and powerslams, check out all the interviews for this year. You can binge on it and see who you thought was the best and was the worst and was the funniest and was the funniest moment. So we'll be doing all that stuff at the end of the year for the PNP Awards. Real quick programming note: we're going to keep the Tuesday for New Year's Eve, but we're going to do it earlier. I've got some ministry stuff that I'm doing on New Year's Eve. I'm having a huge Jesus party that I'm DJing. It's going to be super, super dope. So we are going to have the show, but we're going to have it earlier. I think probably around like 7 for about an hour. So we're still going to do it for New Year's Eve. We're going to have a big New Year's Eve party here on PNP. Still dedicated to the Tuesdays. We're going to make it happen. Probably about 7 o'clock for about an hour to lead into the new year, and we're still going to do it. All right, everybody, go ahead, Evan.
Christmas and New Year's Day is on Wednesdays.
Yes. So New Year's Eve we'll be doing it around 7 o'clock. Yeah, I got some ministry that night. So So yeah, New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve will be regular time. It'll be funny. You know, Chris and having funny stories. We got some. We'll share them. We'll share them for Mania. We've yeah. The last 3 Manias we've done together: Orlando, New Orleans, and this past year in New York. So we've racked up some stories, that's for sure. So, all right, everybody. Mo. That's you remember interviewed Keith Lee before he was WWE. Is always look at him now. Yep. You know what's all? I just did a write up about that. I interviewed Keith Lee in 2017, and he was talking about how he wanted to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. So I would love that, by the way.
Keith is man. Shout out to
you. Mauro won't be calling NXT. That bites.
Oh man. Yeah. Hey, look at it. The past couple weeks, the 2 hottest stars. I mean, of course you got MJF, but as far as fans is getting put, no, I can't talk. Talent's getting pushes. Scorpio Sky, Keith Lee.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's no rats, Michael. He's asking about rats and other bull bears.
No.
We don't do that.
Nope.
Not us.
We are men of the cloth. We are men of the cloth.
But you know, Featherstone loves. We tell you this story later. You got to tell us how much you love the city of New York.
How much I don't love the city of New York, and I will share that on an upcoming episode of the Pancakes and Powerslam show. I think next week we'll just share it. The past 3 years of WrestleMania stories. So yeah, I think that sounds good to me. All right, everybody. Special shout out to Eric Bischoff. This has been such a phenomenal, amazing PNP 400, better than I can expect, and more. Thanks, everybody. Subscribe to Crave Wrestling YouTube channel. Big special shout out to both Wrestling Rumors and Slam Buzz for the love. Just those are the two sites that I write for, and just man. Just the support is just amazing from both of them, Heidi and my boy John. John is a cool dude. Actually, John just wrote one of he asked one of the questions earlier today. He's my editor over at FanBuzz, and just a super supportive guy, man. Like just a super duper supportive guy. Like. Heidi too. Heidi's super supportive too. Like both of them are like the 2 best editors I've ever written for in my journalism career, hands down. Just supportive like crazy, man. So yeah, check me out on those two platforms. And 400. Yep. Yes, you would have to listen to it again, Alonzo, from the beginning. Absolutely. And like I said, there's exclusive audio for Digital Spy. I'll be having that up on Digital Spy as a write-up, and I'll also be playing the audio here in the coming weeks for y'all to listen to. Some really, really good stuff we covered. So good stuff. All right, everybody. It's been a pleasure. PNP 400 in the books, baby. It's been amazing. So until next week, everybody, enjoy your week of wrestling. God bless. Happy Thanksgiving. Go Bucks. And always remember Larry Land. You. Yeah, real quick. Thanks, man. All right, thanks, Greg. I see stuff like that, man. It just really
picture, man. Love that profile picture too.
Yeah. Yes, I love it. New avid listener, Greg says. I appreciate it, man. Thanks, Go. Appreciate it. Until your week of wrestling, until next week. Enjoy your week of wrestling. God bless. And always remember, I do it for you. Have a good night, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, go Bucks. OH.
Go Ravens.
We gotta go. We gotta go. We're out of time. No, like this. Go Bucks. Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable.